about the remainder theorem, remainder and factor theorems. So here's the remainder theorem. Basically what we can do, if we want to find out what our y value is, we would normally plug in an x, right? So if I plug in 5, I'd plug it in here and plug it in here. Well, what the remainder theorem says is if I can just do synthetic division of this polynomial, and what goes in the box is my x value, and then whatever gets out as my remainder, that's actually my y value. So that's actually y equals 12 and my x equals 5. So that's what the remainder theorem does. So instead of plugging in -3 into all these x's, and sometimes we can get confused, especially if there's a negative, right, when we do it in our calculator and we mess up. So we can just do synthetic division. We have a degree of 4, so that means I should have 5 terms, right? So that means I should have an x to the 4th. I should have an x cubed, which I'm missing an x cubed, right? So I got to put a 0 in its place. I have an x squared, which is a 3. I have an x, which is a -15, and then I have my constant 9. All right, 0 in the second row, first column. I'm going to add those two together, so I get -2. And then what's going to go in the box over here is my x value, -3. And then I multiply, and my answer goes in the next column, so I get 6. And then I add again and get 6. And then I multiply by what's in the box, -3 times 6, -18, right? Add again, I get -15. Make sure you pay attention to your negatives and positives. So here I get positive 45, so then I get 30. -3 times 30 is -90, right? Subtract that, I get -81. So what that means, this remainder is actually my y value. So like I have a point, -3 is my x, and -81 is my y. But here's how I write these answers. F of -3, meaning when I plug in -3, my answer is -81. So that's the remainder theorem, finding your y value when you're given an x.